So what if I told you that you could build a seriously successful business with basically nothing more than an idea? Yeah, no funding, no big team, just you. Well, today we're going to break down a framework that shows you exactly how to do that. You know, it's so easy to look at these massive online businesses and just think, there's no way. I could never compete with that. And that thought right there is the mental block that kills so many brilliant ideas before they even get started. But what if that whole assumption is just a myth? The truth? You just don't need any of it. Seriously. In fact, some of the most successful one-person businesses, we're talking seven figures and beyond, started with none of those things. And the secret to how they did it? Well, it's surprisingly simple. Okay, so it all boils down to this really simple triad. You need three things. One, a painful problem. Two, a straightforward solution you can wrap up into a simple product. And three, people who are already out there looking for that exact solution. That's it. I mean, that is literally the entire model in a nutshell. All right, so where do you even begin with this? Well, here's the twist. You don't start with a product idea. Nope. You start with pain. And more specifically, the pain that you've already conquered in your own life. This is a huge mindset shift, so really let this sink in. Forget brainstorming products. Instead, I want you to look back and just audit the problems you've already solved for yourself. See, when you create from your own lived experience, you have instant credibility. Your content stops being a sales pitch, and it just becomes your documented journey. And trust me, that is so much more powerful and way easier to share than trying to fake some kind of expertise you don't really have. Okay, so if you want to find problems that people will happily pay you to solve, look no further than the big three. We're talking health, wealth, and relationships. These are like the evergreen pillars of human desire. Pretty much every profitable business out there is solving a problem in one of these core areas. So once you've pinpointed your problem, the next step is simple. You have to get moving. Analysis paralysis is the absolute enemy here. The goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is momentum. And this idea right here, it completely blows up the expert myth. So many of us think we need to be some kind of level 10 guru before we're allowed to help anyone. But the reality, you just need to be one step ahead of the person you're guiding. Just one step. Think about it. You don't teach because you're already an expert. You actually become an expert by teaching. And this quote just nails the point perfectly. Your first product, your first offer, honestly, it should feel a little embarrassing. It should feel a little unfinished. That feeling, that's a good sign. It means you're moving at the right speed. Because if you wait until you feel 100% ready, you're going to be waiting forever. So this all leads us to the idea of the MVP, the minimal viable product. The whole goal here is just to create something that's just good enough to solve the core problem. That's it. Then you get it into people's hands. You get that real-world feedback, and then you just tinker and improve. This isn't just some scrappy startup trick, by the way. Even a company like Tesla does this. They release software updates in smaller batches to learn and improve before they push it out to everyone. Okay, so you're launching fat. Awesome. But how do you stand out when it feels like everyone is doing something similar? Well, you need a specific unique angle. This is what we call your USP, or unique selling proposition. It's the thing that makes your solution different from all the others. Think of it this way. You're not trying to invent a whole new kind of car. You're just trying to find your own clear lane on the highway. And here's where this whole idea really clicks. Look at the difference. A productivity product? That's super generic. It's forgettable. But an ADHD-friendly system? Boom! That instantly grabs the attention of a very specific person. Same thing with a weight loss product. It's just noise. But a program for new mothers to shed baby weight 90 days, now that is a laser-focused solution. See? That's the power of a really sharp USB. All right. We have to talk about price because this is where so many people get completely stuck. Just remember this one thing. People do not pay for your time or your effort. They pay for the result. Let me say that again. Your price has nothing to do with how many hours you put in. It's all about the value of the transformation you're delivering. The absolute best way to think about this is the point A to point B framework. Imagine your customer is stuck on a rainy, miserable island. That's point A, their current pain, and they desperately want to get to this beautiful sunny island across the water. That's point B, their dream outcome. Your product? It's just the bridge that gets them there. And all of your marketing, all of your messaging, it should be about that sunny island, not about the nuts and bolts of the bridge. So you've got a product, you've got an angle, but how do you actually get it in front of the right people? Well, that brings us to the engine of this whole business model: content, connection, and the super important idea of ownership. First things first, forget about chasing viral trends. Just stop. Your job isn't to reach millions of people. is to reach the right one. The goal is to create content that just obsessively solves the very specific problems of your very specific audience. That's how you build real trust and genuine connection, not just, fleeting attention. And listen, this is one of the most important things you need to understand if you're building anything online. Your social media followers, that's rented land. It's like building a beautiful sandcastle on a public beach. The platform can change the algorithm, they can change the rules, or the tide can just come in and wash it all the way. An email list, on the other hand, that's property you actually own. It's the fundamental difference between building on someone else's platform and building your business. Okay, so we've talked about the problem, the product, and how to promote it. But there is one final crucial ingredient that ties this all together. And honestly, it's the thing that makes sure you actually stick with it long enough to succeed. Let's just be real for a second. Entrepreneurship is hard, and doing it solo, the whole solo grind thing, is even harder. You're trying to do what 99% of people simply won't do, and trying to do that all by yourself like some lone wolf, well, it just makes an already difficult thing 10 times harder. And that's because when you find your pack, your community, you suddenly find accountability, motivation, and all this shared wisdom. It's just like telling your friend you'll meet them at the gym at 6 a.m., right? You're way more likely to actually show up. It's the exact same principle in business. Community is the ultimate cheat code for staying in the game. So I'm going to leave you with this one final thought to really chew on. Take a hard look at the people around you, your circle. Are they lifting you up? Are they pushing you forward? Or are they kind of trapping you in old habits and old beliefs? Because if you feel trapped, then your circle isn't a community. It's a cage. Go find your pack.